Hi, so I've got some questions here from one of my subscribers, Don, and I wanted to answer those for him. It's been a little while since I've done some specific subscriber viewer answering. So Don asks, I have a few questions. You can answer me on a video if you want. How much does a casket weigh with or without human remains? So obviously it depends on the material of the casket. You know, you can have a cardboard or corrugated box casket up to a solid mahogany casket, or you can have a 20 gauge steel up to a bronze. So it depends on the material, but good kind of ballpark is 100 to 300 pounds, and then add in the weight of the person. So if you are going to be a pallbearer, kind of a general weight to assume is that you're going to need to be lifting about 50 to 100 pounds yourself. So it can be a substantial amount of weight for one arm on the side of your body when you're walking, which is kind of an awkward position to be lifting. But it could be more, could be less, depends on the weight of the person, depends on the weight of the casket. Does a bigger person require more embalming fluid? Same reverse, does a smaller person require less embalming fluid? So kind of rule of thumb on this as well that a lot of embalmers go by is 1 gallon of fluid mixed. So that's water and embalming fluid together in 1 gallon solution per 50 pounds of body weight. So a standard kind of little old lady or general person would be a good 2 to 3 gallons, and then you add more as needed, or it may be a much more concentrated solution with less water in it. All those variables fall into play, but good rule of thumb, 1 gallon per 50 pounds of weight, and then go from there. Have you heard of anyone requesting to be frozen? I've seen it around YouTube and want to know your thoughts. So cryogenics is, I am assuming, what you are talking about. And it is kind of a thought, or it's a thing that's out there, but it's not prominent. It's not, you know, accessible around every street corner. So I myself have not had anybody request this. I have not encountered anybody who knows of somebody who's requested this. It's a very costly endeavor. It's about $200,000 up for a full body cryogenic freeze of your body. And so, you know, just because of cost, most people are not doing it. But it is out there. There's many options that are out there that you can find if you wanted to. Are pets allowed in for a service? And it might depend on the state in the funeral home. So I'm actually doing a video on this coming up here shortly. And yes, many funeral homes will allow you to bring in your pet to say a final goodbye and to be there for a viewing time, or if maybe the deceased had an animal companion that was always with them, that animal can come and be at the funeral home. Now some funeral homes are going to require maybe the animal not be there for public visitation just because of liabilities, or that you have, you know, pee pads down, or, you know, just different things that they may require to ensure cleanliness and safety for the visitors and for the funeral home. So just ask the question, as always, you know, just see what they say, see what their parameters are of what they require, and, you know, bring your animal in. Have I ever lost power during a service? He was recently at one that happened. So I have lost power during visitation, and we got out every candle in the building and put them out. Luckily, it was like an afternoon summer storm, and so it wasn't too hot, it wasn't too cold. We didn't have to worry about keeping the temperature moderated by, you know, heaters or AC. And there was enough light still outside because it got dark so much later, and so we were able to keep the room decently lit with candles and things like that. So it was kind of a cool effect, very somber because of the candles and the mood that it set. I don't think I've ever had power outage during a service itself. We did the morning of a service, but we got it back in time for the service itself. But I don't think I've had it for the actual service. I have lost power when I've been in the embalming room, and boy does it get dark, because a lot of embalming rooms don't have windows. You know, they're in the basement or in a back room, and so it got very dark very quickly. Just kind of threw me off a little bit. I have had to finish embalming in the dark before the best I could, you know, without the machines pumping. I do know people that have had to go to the old gravity style, where you literally are holding and waiting for gravity to kind of push that fluid in. We'll cover some of that in my embalming history video I'm going to do, but I have lost power in several situations. Luckily not a lot. It is always like, oh no, what do we do? But you just step back, quick assess and attack the situation and make it good for all those involved the best you can. So thanks for the questions, and as always, post more questions, email them to me if you want. I'm so happy to answer questions for you guys. Bye.